Hello everyone, the Klaus here, and today guys I'm going to review a Megabloks Dragons set released in 2004 as part of the Fire and Ice subtheme, and it's going to be the Portal of Fire set. So here we go with the box, of course quite a big box because it's quite a big set, but we're gonna see that of course with the set itself, and as you can see you got the usual Megabloks logo, set number, set name, edge recognition, and parts, number of parts right there, and of course you got the Fire and Ice logo, which is quite cool, and the castle itself, some warriors, and one of the dragon, well, the dragon included into this set, and as you can see here is called So On, and it is supposed to be light up. Well, it's supposed because in fact my batteries are kind of run out of juice, so I will not be able to show you the light up feature, but we'll see that later on. Because more interesting is that the box can be opened to show you the castle in its entirety, so you can really see it clearly, which was not the case on the front of the box. So you can really see it clearly right there. You can also see the back of the castle, so to see the details and stuff like that, like for example the portal itself. Of course, we're gonna see that in the review. We're gonna also see that in the review, and we can also notice all the different gimmicks which are shown and explained. But once again, the play features are going to be explained in this review. You can see also some play features for the dragons, and here's the different warriors you're going to have in this set. So, in fact, you're going to have 3 sides: the Ice Vorgan, the Fire One, and the Norvagan. But we're gonna see that. We're gonna talk about that later on. And as you can see on the side, we're also going to have some transparent part in which there were the warriors which were shown, so we can really see the things through clear plastic, and it was quite cool. So you get like 2 warriors in there plus a weapon, but also the 2 other warriors on this side and the 2 last one on this side plus some weapons. So really cool, and really a way to show you all the figures in on the box, in fact, which is quite nice. Then you're going to have here on the back all the sets, well, most of the sets released in the Fire and Ice sub-theme, plus the Dragon's Egg. And here you're going to have, of course, the same picture of the Portal of Fire as seen inside the box, plus, of course, the rear view. But more interesting is the description of the set, so I'm going to read that, so you're going to understand, well, what it's all about. So, at the mystic Portal of Fire, the nefarious wizard Xenos uses the power of the Horizon Crystal to generate a gateway to the Dragon World. The majestic Dragon King Sauron fights to defend this secret power alongside the Fire One, a hybrid army of Norvagan and Draga heroes, but Xenos summons his Ice Vorgan, allies to control the outpost and battles to the bitter end. Yeah, this last sentence was quite well, but well, it explains you how everything works, and I'm going to talk about that later on. So that was the box. Now let's move on to the instruction booklet, which once again with Megabloks is it's uselessly big. So the parts list, if you happen to have a parts damage or you lost a part, you can order the parts for free on the Megabloks customer service website. Then the play features shown in close-up. A little ad for the movie, because, well, yes, 2004 was the first year Megabloks decided to release a movie for their Dragons theme, which was quite cool. Well, it was in 2005, but that's because, well, the theme was released first in 2004 in the USA, and then in 2005 in Europe. And then the back, which once again shows you the description of the set, plus the parts, the sets from the theme, and stuff like that. So now let's move on to the set itself, and well, maybe first the different warriors. So, like you know, there is 2 sides fighting each other in this new Fire and Ice theme. So, well, the first one is called the Fire One, and it's an hybrid army composed of the best warriors of the Norvagan and Dragar armies, of course, which were released first in Crystal Wars subsim in 2003. So well, the only difference is that is mostly the color, because of course the molds are the same as used by the Norvagan and the Dragar. So for example here you got a Norvagan mold, but it will got the Firen color, this means the red color. And it can also be seen on the shield, which will be dark red and dark gray. Dark gray. In fact, closer to the black than to the gray. And some nice dark metal color used for the little wings. So, well, here's the Norvagan warrior, which was already with before, but in a new color. And for those who do not know these warriors, well, it's really simple. In terms of articulation, you got 1 point of rotation per arms because the hands do not turn, 1 point of rotation on the head, and 1 per leg. Then you also have to notice that you got a magnet in their body, which is quite useful for some play features, even if it's not the case in this set, but still. And finally, the legs is the only mold which will be used on all the warriors. Because, well, in fact, all the armies got a different arms and bodies, plus each warrior's got a unique head, but all the legs are the same. So, well, here's the first soldier, then we're going to have another Norvagan mold in Firen colors, this one. And then a last one, but this time it will be a Dragar, so we can notice the differences between the body and the arms, and of course the head, which is completely different than the other guys. And now let's talk about the more interesting figures. So first, the kind of the leader of the Firen team, Norvagan Olsef, which is not new because the body and the head, which is a human head this time, so not hidden, yes, between behind a helmet. Well, it's not the first time it released. It first appeared, I think, in the well, I was sure this thing was first released in 2002, in the first year of the Dragons, but I may be wrong on this point. So this may be a new head mod for 2004. Well, so yes, maybe a new mod. As you can see, the body this time is gray, which is also pretty exclusive to this set because there is not that much gray body, even if it's once again a mod we have already seen. We can also notice the weapon, which is in a silver color, but not in a chrome silver color, unlike the previous leader's weapon. Then let's move on to the Ice Vorgan, which is in fact, there is some Ice Vorgans which are just the old molds but in the new colors. Here it's not the case because we are going to have the Ice Vorgan colors, so this means this this light green and a kind of turquoise color, but we're also going to have a new mod for the body right there, which features some hairs on the back, which really looks cool, and also a new head mod. And I think the weapon also is quite new. Once again, I may be wrong, but I'm seriously thinking this thing is new. Well, I hope I'm deeply sorry if I say mistakes like that, but well, I'm not really sure. But still, the head and the body is a new part. And as you can see with the Ice Vorgan, the head is directly put on the body and not between the shoulders. And finally, this guy, which is called Xenos, and in fact it's a big heavy guy of fire and ice, and that's quite a new thing in the Dragons universe, because before that, of course, we got some type of leaders, like for example, Padwag, the chief of the Dragars, but they were not really that charismatic, or not really, they didn't really have any human face, and this time, well, it's really an important character with a human face, so the Fire and Ice storyline is deeper than the previous storylines. But well, let's just move on to the figures. As you can see, we've got a pretty well detailed head, also a new body, in fact, new mold for the body. The same can be said for the arms, which are also new. The same can be said for his weapon, which is once again new, and the same can be said finally for his cape, which is new in comparison to the previous cape released. So overall, on mostly new figures in terms of mold, as you can see, it also got some hairs which can be put down, and also it is a double-sided face character, because you can turn this thing like that, and here we go, you have heavy Xenos, which is all blue. So I think it's one is supposed to be made of ice or something like that. I'm not really sure. I do not. I wasn't really in the Dragon's storyline at all. But well, here we go. I think that's all for the figures, guys. Now let's move on to the dragon with Sauron, the king of the dragons. So well, it's not like your usual or your average dragon. So as you can see, of course, the mod is entirely new in comparison to older dragon sets. And also I think this mod will not be reused in future dragons, so I think it's quite exclusive in fact to Sauron and to this set. So for the color scheme we're going to have some light green, dark green, gold and silver colors mostly. Of course tons of effects on the paint job, so you can really see for example all the dragons skin is made, if I can say so. I don't have the exact word for that. Nice effects all around the place once again. In terms of articulation, we got 1 point of rotation right there, and that's all. Here you got 2 points of rotations, 2 points, excuse me, of rotation, but you can just turn a little on the sides, so it's nearly useless, but still you can turn this way. And finally, you got a ball joint right there for the the end of the dragon, if I can say so like that, if I can say so. But once again, it's quite useless because a better option would have to add an articulation on the elbow section and not on the hand section. So I don't really understand why they did that, but well, at least it got some articulations, even if they are not the best you could get. Then notice that the wings are mounted on ball joints right there, so it allows for some nice pose, which can be made quickly. The mouth, of course, can be opened like that. You can notice the detail of the tongue right there. And well, that's all. The last features, in fact, is well, there is 3 last features. First, the tail, which is made out of soft plastic, which will be which you can put like that to make fall some guys right there. So it works quite nice. Then the 4 studs to put a guy on there, and finally the light up things, which like I said I can't make work right there because the batteries well do not work anymore. But well, it's quite I'm going to explain it nonetheless. So well, it's quite simple. You have this switch right there, so for example I can push the blue part like that, and finally I had to push this switch, and the these things right there was supposed to light up in a blue color. And the same can be said for the neck, as you can see, because you have some trans clear part on the neck, and this means, well, all the neck and this part, plus I think this part also was lighting up in blue. And well, if I want it red, I just have to push the red button, then press this thing, and this part, the crest, would have lightened up in blue, in red, excuse me, in red. So you can choose the color you want the dragons to light up, and well, it's quite well made. So well, it's not a perfect dragons. We're gonna see that in the sum up later on, but well, at least it's quite original and with some nice play features. Now let's move on to the castle finally, guys. Sorry for that. I know that I made 2 long reviews, but well. Then I'm going to move this thing like that. So here's the portal of fire. So, excuse me. Just going to put some box on the back right there. Here we go. So all the portal of fire, which is of course a castle, is made. Well, it's quite simple, as you can see. First, we're going to talk about the base plates. We've got 3 main base plates in this set. 1 here, 1 there, and finally 1 on the front. These 2 parts will be symmetrical, as you can see, so it's really easy to understand how it's made. So first, we're going to add a big blocky, walkie part right there. You can also notice the colors, which are pretty original for a castle set, because this time we are mostly going to have some tan sun color, plus some light gray color, which is really cool and mixed pretty well together, and also is quite original. So first, a big rocky part right there. Then on this side, two of these wall parts, which are not really new. In fact, it's an old mod previously released, so with the dragons mod in there, quite cool. Then second floor with these big bricks. We're going to add some dragons castle walls, which are made really simply by three parts. So you can clearly see the three parts, one there, here, and there. Notice that this one is a corner wall part, as you can see, because it also goes on this way. Then you can also notice the pillars, which will be useful to link the to attach the next floor. You can also notice the walls used right there, plus some pillars and the rooftop used here. Then third floor, which is just some castle walls plus pillars, and finally the last part with this type of specific part and the more castle-ish part on the sides. The flag also with the Firewind logo. So those parts are a new mold in the Fire and Ice subscene, by the way. And so the same can be said for the other side. You're going to have your bricks used as some little walls. You're going to have this part right there. Notice also that this part can be put in two ways, because you have attach point right there, but also on the other side. So you can put this part the way you want, and I found it quite original. And finally, so that's the two parts on the side, and then you're going to have the middle part right there, so with the third base plate. So we can see it's, of course, the entrance of the castle, and well, we're going to have three new mold parts right in our faces. So the first one is this Norwegian statues, which are really cool and pretty well detailed, plus they can move their arms up and down. So it's quite nice if you want to put the things like that, for example. You have the option to choose how you want to put it. So as you can see, pretty well detailed. So it's really like the same as the minifig, as you can see. You can even see the little armor on his back, even the parts for the studs right there. So pretty cool. Really nice, and that's the only set in which this part will be released. So they are quite unique once again. So second one, which of course is the same, and then we're going to have this dragon's head with the transferred eyes, which looks also pretty good. So notice little holes to let pass the chain through, which will be quite useful. Right there. And here you can notice the real entrance of the castle, so with this part here, and also this walkie part, which got well, kind of a door shape. And as you can see, the upper part of the door will be useful to let the chain go through these holes. And once again, it will be quite useful later on. So well, that's all for the front part of the castle. Now it's time to move on to the rear part to see the different play features and stuff like that. And here we go. So first, this part right there. So you can see we have some big black parts with this. Well, not really big black parts because they are mostly simple bricks, by the way. So excuse me for that. But you can notice further spins right there, which will be useful, and also the cauldron itself with some nice fire effect on the bottom of it, and some parts right there which are used as some as lava, I guess, or some burning oil. And so now it's time to open the gate, so the dragon's gate, thanks to the chain. So how it works, so it will be quite easy, because I just have to, well, I'm going to do that like that. So I first have to take the chain right there, and now I just have to let the chain goes under this black part I mentioned earlier, and then here we go. The head is well, the gate is open and it's looking quite cool. Now last gimmick on this section of the set is the cauldron, because as you can see, you got a little hole, in fact, in there between this rocky part and this part. You have a little hole, and so it's quite useful. So because imagine you have a guy right there. Now you see cauldron here. I just have to push it like that. And here we go, the guy is burned and stuff like that. So it works quite nice in my opinion. And well, that was all. I just wanted to show you how this worked. So just let me take the little parts and we'll continue our tour guide of the Portal of Fire. So that was for the middle part, the middle section of the castle. The other sides are not really interesting because you can see they are mostly empty towers right there. But then on the first floor it's a little more original because we got some details. First, this fire camp right there, which is quite nice. Then the jail itself, which is quite cool. So notice the little details. It's a new mold, by the way, so it can be of course opened like that. And of course the walls are made thanks to this part, which were on the front and also on the sides, on both sides here and there. And so of course you can close it like that. Now you also got a throne right there with a little table, which is quite interesting because it's made with a little wheel and a little flame. And well, the use of the wheel right there is quite nice because Megabloks tends to not reuse their parts. And here I think it's a quite utilization of this part, but in another way. And then you got little wood bridge right there, and some ladder. And well, that's quite all. Just one last part before I conclude this review. It's of course the portal itself, which looks like that. So once again, a base plate, but a smaller one than the three one we have already seen. Then some bricks, which are in red, by the way, and then the Horizon, I think it's called like that, the Horizon crystal, which does not light up in comparison to previous crystals, but still pretty good with some transcolor and some gold. And really a nice aspect. But the most interesting part, I think, is the portal itself. So with the two dragon's head eating, in fact, each other, you can see, so kind of like a serpent. This one is eating this one, and well, you can see that this one is eating another serpent tail. You can also notice that the eyes on this one are red, unlike this one, which are blues, right there. And you can also notice all the details. As you can see, it's not a symmetrical tail. You also have some damaged part right there. So really, once again, a cool texture and a cool effect from Megabloks. And this part is linked right there on this rotation point, and well, here I guess you have the portal with, of course, kind of a half circle shape, which is really looking cool. And that's all for the crystals. So just let me move back the castle right there in front of the webcam. Right there, and of course I will do a little sum up. Like that. Now I'm just going to add the guys, and here we go. So first, well, let's sum up with the figures. So the figures, got 6 of them. Well, they are quite nice because you got 3 of them which are really unique. So this guy and these 2 guys which are really unique. Then you got also 3 soldiers, and well, like I said, they are unique. Both of them got some really interesting new molds. Some are quite unique to this set, I think. So overall, pretty good selection of figures. The only problem I think I have with these figures is that you only got 2 bad guys, and well, that's quite. I think they would they would come with some bigger armies to attack the Portal of Fire. So I know these 2 guys are supposed to be powerful, but this lack of just normal soldiers, I think. So I mean, not chief or not generals or stuff like that, just normal soldiers, just normal warriors. And well, I think with just 1 more guys, it would have been a little cooler. But well, you can't have everything, of course. and so it's already quite cool. But just this little problem. But apart from that, a nice selection of figures, and you got different shields, different nice weapons, some silver ones, and all that type of stuff. New molds. So overall, a great selection of figures. Then you got Someone, King of Dragons, exclusive mod to this set. He's quite cool, in fact. At first, I did not really like him, but I think he has grown on me, in fact. But still, there is a little problem. I think it's the eyes, which really looks too much cartoonish in comparison to the overall body, because, well, you got really some highly detailed texture effects, some highly detailed pen job, and then you got the eyes, which are made simple with just 2 colors, and that's also, I think, it's a little too cartoonish in comparison to the other rest of the body. But, well, I have read that I was not really the only one to not really like this mold, so, well, I can understand why you would not like Someone, but still, even if it's not the best looking dragons ever, at least it got some unique play features with the light up things, which are quite cool, I have to say. So nice features, also a little lack of articulations, because I mean, what's the point of putting some buttons for the hands, whereas they would have been more useful on the elbow section, seriously. Plus the fact that this part cannot really turn. So this means the dragon is pretty static, in fact. You can't really do that much pose, but well, I guess it got still some nice light up play features. And finally, the castle. Well, the castle is really wonderful because I don't really have any big complaints about this set. So, well, maybe two complaints I have with this set before I go and say good things about it. Is that first, well, this part on the sides are a little weak. I mean, it's just some brick spots right there to make some protection, while it's a little weak. And also another weak part is all the parts are linked together on the center, which means when you take these things, when you want to move these things, only take it by the towers, because if you take it by the middle, it will just fall off and crush. But apart from that, there is no big problems of weakness elements, and that just only if you want to move on your castle or not. And well, except for that, it's all good for me, because first, the color scheme. The color scheme is really original because it features some nice tan parts, sun parts, plus some light gray, with some touches of red color for the lavas, of course some brown right there. So really original colors, which we have not seen after that in other Dragon's Castle, and I think it's pretty original and really unique. And then you got the parts selection. The parts selection is great because you got some parts which are, of course, traditional castle parts, like for example the walls, these parts right there, the pillars, the base plates, but the walls also. But you also got some original parts, like all these fire and ice parts right there, the two statues which are really good looking and really wonderful parts, the dragon head, which will be reused later on in other sets, but still quite cool in this color scheme, and some nice three colors also, like the burbs. And well, to end on the original parts, we can also mention the crystal and the gate, which of course is really unique. And then we got the construction, which works pretty nice. And finally, well, no, not finally, but the design itself is cool. So I really like the symmetrical aspects between the two towers, plus the front. The front is really well made with the two statues, the dragon's head. It's really imposing and it's really nice. Plus, then you got the play features, which really adds to the overall thing, because most of the previous Dragon's Castle were not really detailed. It was big castle with empty insides. Here, it's still the case, but there is also some details, like for example, the fire camp, the throne with little tables, or even the cauldron on the upper part. And speaking of the cauldron, you can also mention the play features, so the head, which can be moved up and down thanks to the chain, which were just nice, the cauldron, the jail, which is pretty cool, and also the portal itself. And overall, for me, it's really a great set, if not one of the best sets of the Dragon's theme, all the sub-theme method together, because it's original, it's a castle, it's not, it's still big, it's not enormous in comparison to other castle, but at least it's big and it's pretty well detailed. It got a nice color scheme, which is original, and new mold parts everywhere. So overall, there is some complaints I have with this set, like for example the figures, the dragons, or even some parts of the castle, but most of this is really a little thing in comparison to the castle itself, to the set itself, which is really cool. So that was my review on the Dragons Portal of Fire set, guys, released in 2004 in the US and in 2005 in Europe. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask them. I will happily answer them. And well, that's all for this review, guys. So the Portal of Fire, really a great buy. If you do not have it, I really recommend you to find it on eBay or on Amazon on this type of site, because I think it's really worth it. So maybe you will have to add some more Iceborgan soldiers to really make a big battle scene, but I really think it's an original castle and really cool. So that will be all, guys. Hope you enjoyed this review, and see you later for another video review. Bye bye!